Hello, and welcome to Season 7 of Long Beach Treasures. I'm your host, Harvey Keller. Today we're visiting with John Thomas, and we're going to check out his Art Deco home here. John, welcome.
Thank you, Harvey.
And how did you get interested in Art Deco?
I actually started about 4 years ago with a clock, a small clock, and I'll show you my clock collection later. I'm up to about 65 now. But I started with a clock, and I really learned a little bit about the clock's design, its architectural style, and step-back style, and I'll show you that clock. And that just kind of got me into the whole thing of architecture, the design, the streamlined look, the lettering, etc. And I just fell in love with Art Deco.
Are any of these artifacts in here significant?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the carpet is a reproduction from the late 60s of the carpet that's in the Roxy Theater in New York City. You can tell by the band instruments that are in this style. And this railing, and I have two more in the living room, is from the Argyle Hotel located on Sunset Boulevard, which was originally called the Sunset Apartments. And there's a photo of the Argyle lit up on Sunset Boulevard. Fortunately, the Argyle is still there, but the interior has been significantly altered from its original Art Deco style.
Now, is the entire home finished in or furnished with Art Deco?
Yes, my entire home is all original Art Deco
Can
furniture.
we just wander around a little bit?
Absolutely. There's pieces of the cabinet here is one of my prized possessions, as well as the mirror, but the cabinet is called a keyhole cabinet. It's designed, if you step back and look, it looks like a keyhole, and it's wonderful to show off chase and other chrome and metal Art Deco items, including the barware and ashtrays, etc. I'm very proud of this piece. These chairs, I was originally on the Queen Mary in the 1940s, and I bought them from a collector who collects Queen Mary memorabilia. And when I remodeled my home earlier this year, I created this little alcove. I wanted a seating area with this Art Deco French marble fireplace and the light fixtures, etc. It's kind of a cozy little lobby.
Now, the floor looks very Art Deco also.
Right. The floor, of course, all the porcelain you'll see in the bathrooms, the kitchen, and the living room, and of course the entry tile here. All this tile work is, of course, current tile, but it's got the Art Deco design and it meets the colors, etc. I'll take you into the master bedroom first. As you can see, I'm a lover of the Queen Mary, so throughout this bedroom you'll see photos from the Queen Mary and other collectibles.
Did you retile the bathroom?
Yes, this tile's completely been remodeled. You can take a look at the shower. The shower has a high-rise building from New York. Step back in it. It worked up in the tile motif. As well as you can see the colors. The colors are very typical of the Art Deco era, which is the 1920s through the 40s. The wild rose or pink and cream two-tone with the black trim. The fixtures, of course, are reproduction fixtures, the toilet and the sink in this room. This, of course, is the master bedroom, and one of the things that I like to do in all the rooms is have a fireplace, at least a faux fireplace. So this is a wonderful fireplace. French club chairs that have been reupholstered to match the colors in here. One of my other collections are, of course, lamps and phones and radios of the era, and so very proud of this little ensemble with the phone and the lamp.
Do you ever feel like you're living in a museum?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, a lot of my friends and family, when they come to visit, they say it's a museum, and of course they always have to add that I'm the chief relic.
Now, are you ever uncomfortable when you have a lot of people here?
No, I'm not. Folks are usually overly cautious about when they come here, sitting on things and touching things, and then I have 7 great nieces and nephews, so when they come here to visit, they're really careful too. So generally speaking, it's not a problem. Thank goodness. You can see a collection of blue glass. Blue glass and blue mirror glass was really popular in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s for barware and clocks and mirrors.
Now, the Art Deco movement started, what, 1925, the Parisian Internationale?
That's right. 1925 was the original date. Art Deco really came from the artists and designers of the late teens and early 20s wanting to move away from Art Nouveau, and they wanted to find something a little bit more stylized. So
can we keep moving?
Sure, absolutely. Take you into the next bedroom and down the hallway here. One of my loves, obviously, is photography, and have a lot of LA and Long Beach photography in the hallway here, as well as more furniture. This is the second bathroom, one of my favorites, done in the typical green and black of the Art Deco era, with the medicine cabinet and light fixture. And you can see the step-back canopy over the shower, which is typical of the Art Deco form, especially in bathrooms.
Now, you did that when you remodeled?
Yes, that was a little something we wanted to do just to kind of give the bathroom a little bit of style and flavor. Really happy with this room. This really turned out nice. All the fixtures in the bathroom are all original from the 1920s, the light fixtures. And again, the only reproduction items here are is the tile and the fixtures. Everything else is original, the lamps and the glassware, etc. Right down to the toilet dispenser is from the 1930s. So very lucky to find most of these items.
Now, Art Deco movement was a repudiation of traditional and...
Yes, so with the invent of car and everything moving faster, including oceanic travel, the design folks decided they wanted to really demonstrate that streamlined, modern style in art and in design. It moved away from the Art Nouveau style of the early teens. This is another bedroom with a lot of photography and art within it. Original Art Deco bedroom suite, and this is an American Art Deco bedroom suite. Art Deco was famous for what they call the waterfall, where the ends of the furniture seem to cascade down in front. And then, of course, it's balanced by other French and English Art Deco bureaus and armoires as well. Right down to a wonderful little Art Deco chest and table and chair that I use as a desk here. These light fixtures, I was able to find a matching pair at a dealer in Long Beach a couple of years ago, and I saved them for the remodel, and I really like those as well.
Wow, this is quite impressive.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. These two radios are very significant. These are my prized possessions as well. Again, I mentioned the blue mirror glass. A gentleman by the name of Walter Tague designed both these radios. This is called the Sleigh, and you can see the style of the sleigh here. And of course this works. This is from 1936. And then the original Bluebird radio was also designed by Walter Tague. If you look at it closely, it appears to have two little feet, and it's blue, so it was called the Bluebird, and that's from 1934.
And they still work?
Still work, yes.
Oh. So now we're going into the
living room.
Oh.
And as you can see, my collection continues with furniture, lamps, mirrors, chandelier. These are original postered items that have been, of course, reupholstered over the years, a combination of French and English Art Deco. The railings on either side of the sliding glass door are continued from the Sunset tower that I mentioned earlier.
I really like the design of this couch and these two chairs.
Yeah, thank you. These are two of my favorite. Green is my favorite color, and so when I found these, I just couldn't turn them down. Another faux fireplace.
I must say you have a lot of seating capacity for guests.
I do. I'm very fortunate. The condo is about 1,600 square feet, and it's really a nice party home as well. And in that curio cabinet over there against the wall, you can see the balance of my clock collection that started this hobby of mine. I'm very pleased to.
Is there a resurgence of people interested in Art
Yes,
Deco?
I was just recently elected vice president of the LA Art Deco Society, and I'm surprised at our membership. It just increases. The interest in Art Deco has increased, and collecting Art Deco has come back. And not just the high-end Art Deco, but everybody wants to have at least a piece of Art Deco, especially here in Long Beach in their California Craftsman and bungalow homes. From the era, they like to have a piece of Art Deco within the home. To maybe offset or complement the Art Nouveau that they may have going in their home.
Was Art Deco a popular form of decoration in the Craftsman bungalow?
It was definitely a piece because the era of Craftsman bungalow homes, most folks that bought furniture, especially if they bought high-end furniture at the time, had the stylized lines of Art Deco within it. You almost always had, in that era, a floral pattern carved into the wood that was kind of left over from Art Nouveau. But certainly as furniture began to become more accessible from the retail market in the mid-30s, definitely Art Deco.
Stylized leaves like on
yes.
the background there. That was very typical, wasn't
yes,
it?
And that's called floral and fauna. And that's a really good example of that floral fauna look. This is a unique piece. I call this my transition piece. You can see that it begins with an Egyptian base when, of course, Egyptmania was big in the 1920s and 30s because of the discovery of King Tut. And that influenced design, especially when it came to Art Deco. And then it comes up and you begin to see kind of a Victorian look in this lamp. This lamp would have had a piece of glass within the top part here. And you see this very Victorian shade.
That looks really old.
It's very old. I think this is probably the mid-20s. But you can see this is a great transition piece from the Nouveau style, influenced by the Egyptian discovery of Tut, and right up into the Art Deco, where you begin to get the Art Deco Aztec look.
And this is the dining room?
Right. Beautiful buffet. Again, this is the American Art Deco, where you can see that waterfall style again. This is a beautiful French table.
That's an unusual little clock.
Yes.
Grandfather clock?
Yes, thanks for calling that out. The floor clock is very unique in the shape of an Art Deco. Again, Art Deco has that very unique look of a kind of a skyscraper shooting up out of the bottom and then coming to the top, and then something on top to draw your attention, and that's really a unique, I call that my skyscraper clock. And the three-piece marble clock just to the right on the buffet, these three-piece marble clocks were very, very popular. They're mostly French, and I have several throughout the house. They're mostly French influence, and you almost always have some sort of a figure, a unique use of the marble, and a beautiful clock within it.
Tell me, is the bird Art Deco?
Yes, the bird is definitely Art Deco, and it's poised perfectly for the shot from the camera. Yes, that's what I call my low-maintenance pet, right there.
We're almost out of time. I just want to get a real brief.
So this is a remodeled kitchen, and of course, I may love Art Deco from the 20s, but I have to live today. So of course, the kitchen and the refrigerator are modern, but the kitchen, the tile is reproduction tile to look like linoleum. The two-tone tile and paint within the kitchen is very reminiscent of an Art Deco kitchen of that era, right down to the knobs that are original. The knobs in the pools are original from the 1930s.
John, fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for letting us stop by.
Great to have you here today. Thanks so much.
And don't go away. We'll be right back with more Long Beach Treasures.
Local origination is an extremely valuable product, and it allows us to do a broad spectrum of programming. I tell my team that I want you to do programming about this community, but if NBC has done it or will do it, don't do it. But they're not going to do the local, game of the week. But I guarantee you that mother or father that sees their child on television is a great fan of this company.
Food's great. I can see 11 TVs from where I'm sitting. Great atmosphere, good service. Excellent place to come watch a game.
Lots of good sports, great television.
Football, baseball, and HC down at Smooth Sports Grill.
There's actually a nightclub Friday nights and Saturday nights. Fantastic DJ. We love coming to Smooths. Great food. Got televisions everywhere. Nice place.
Welcome back to Long Beach Treasures. Joining me now is Guillermo Avalos, artist extraordinaire, who just completed this beautiful mural here at Bixby Park. Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure, Harvey. What we have here is a depiction of a photo collage of different photographs from the 20s and 30s and 40s. As you can see, there's photographs from that are in black and white. There's also photographs in sepia tone photographs and hand-tinted photographs. They're all photographs that were selected by a committee to represent some of the history that we have here from Bixby Park, from elements from the Long Beach Municipal Band to some of the great picnics that they had here. For instance, there was also a committee from the Iowa, there was the Iowa picnics, and also people from Nebraska visiting this park for reunions.
The first picture here is what?
This picture is basically just a picnic from 1928, and this is a black and white photograph that was hand tinted. So back in those days, they had this process of selling either postcards or photographs, and they had an artist hand tint these photographs. As you can see, there's some black and white images, but then they just to add some tone to certain images, they just went along with watercolors or a process used by using different tones.
Is this sepia tone?
That's a sepia tone photograph from 1926. And these are just youth playing at the park.
The band looks a little rigid.
Yes,
don't they?
yeah, they are. The photograph that we had was very vague, but it also was a hand-tinted photograph. And you can see their uniforms they're just, they actually look like police, basically.
I think this corner is one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, indeed.
I love the trees there. It looks so real.
Yes, indeed. One of our main important things from this mural is basically to give it that essence from that time. I did a lot of research on trying to figure out what photographs would go onto the mural, but also the background. The committee wanted to have photographs and also images that represented that time. And I was really highly influenced by our California Impressionist artists from that time, from the 30s. And we decided to go about making it look like fruit labels, California fruit labels from
right.
the 30s. And that's kind of essence that you kind of get, specifically because you have to decide on how to go about separating both the foreground from the black and white photographs, the sepia tone photographs from the background. And I think it just makes it decent. That way the viewer from a distance could see that and comprehend both images.
Now, you're a graduate of Wilson High School. Is
Yes,
that where
indeed,
you got
exactly.
started?
That's where I got started in 1992. Of course, I graduated from there. I had the opportunity, while I'm still in high school, actually, my junior year, a teacher there, her name was Donna Peltz, recommended me to a program that's here in the city of Long Beach called the Mural and Cultural Arts Program. And for a summer, there was a program called the Summer Youth Employment Training Program. And I took part into that program and learned a little bit about the process about learning how to paint murals, of course under the guidance of some artists, basically. And from there, I really enjoyed what I was doing. And 15 years later, I'm doing this.
And you had some help doing this, some young artists that you are
Yes, indeed.
mentoring?
Actually, that's what we did this summer. I had 6 youth from the Summer Youth Employment Training Program that took part in this project. And the whole idea is the same situation as that somebody gave me an opportunity at that age when I was 15 to have the one-on-one understanding what public art's all about.
Another picnic?
Another picnic, yes, indeed, exactly. As you can see, everybody has a coffee tin cup in their hand, and there was a very famous man, I can't recall his name off the top of my head right now, but they had these, well, they called him the Tin Man. So what he did was every reunion, he would come out with these big pots of coffee and just pass them out, and people would have pastries and different things to eat, and just for gatherings.
The old swing set?
Yes, indeed. We have here as we wanted to show a little bit of the warmness of this park, specifically because nowadays you can see we still have children coming into this park, and we have a picture from 1925, and this is a photograph that shows different children at a swing set and with their parents in the background.
What's the gathering here? That's in front of the band shell.
Yes,
over
it is,
there,
exactly.
isn't
This is the band shell that we wanted to show. Of course, there's 50 individuals in that photograph, and I thought I really fell in love with the images, specifically of their dress wear from that period, from 1929.
Is this our old friend Herbert Hoover?
Yes, it is, exactly. He was here in 1928 campaigning for president, to become a president.
Hmm. And another picnic?
And another picnic. This is a private picnic, and as you can see, they did the whole layout. They put out tables, and they had the fixings from different types of food that they had. But it was a family-oriented situation.
This must have been a busy place at one time.
Yes, it was. And this is why this park is really rich with the history, and it's important for us to kind of show that to our community and also the people who walk by this mural or drive by. That way they can say, well, a lot of people didn't know that this park had this great history behind it.
I guess the shuffleboard courts are still over there.
Yes, they are. Actually, they're on the back hand side of the wall, but also they were here, right in front. Of course, they were removed back in, I believe, in the 70s, and when there's still a portion of that on the park. As you can see, also
shuffleboards are not as popular as it used to be.
Yes, indeed. Unless you're at a cruise liner or something like that. And then we have also another hand-tinted photograph from that time, and just showing the band shell and people gathering around the band shell.
And this is the Iowa picnic?
Yes, indeed. This is some individuals from the Association of Iowa who were visiting, of course, during that period, and just having their gatherings. And Long Beach is still a very interesting place to visit.
I understand at one time they had over 50,000 people who would come to the Iowa picnics, and they would have to put counties on the trees so people could find...
Exactly. I think as any importance, that's why Herbert Hoover decided to come down and visit Long Beach, because he knew that there was a gathering of different individuals from different places, from Iowa, from Nebraska, and various Mid-East locations to who could actually come to this park and have all these great gatherings and be able to speak to them at the specific site.
Are these the early Rockettes?
Actually, this is the Franchone and Marco Dance Company from 1926. And they were here visiting because there was a bird aviary here. And they were here just to do some promotional photographs because this park actually had peacocks and a variety of different birds.
I really like the directory you put here on the end, because people can identify what the pictures are all about. And,
exactly.
And it also immortalizes you here.
And you know, I think that's the most important thing up there is seeing the description of each photograph. So I suggest that anyone who comes to the park who is would like to know more about the photographs could go back and see the details into the number of the photographs, where it's placed, and gets an idea of what each photograph represents. But I think more important also is the people who sponsored the project, and the youth and the volunteers who took part in this project.
And I have a question for you.
Sure.
Yesterday when I was here for the dedication,
yes.
Everybody kept saying, is there some kind of covering on it to prevent
Yes,
distortions?
there is a varnish that's applied, and it protects it from the elements, from rain.
So
from
if anybody
weather,
would try to graffiti, you can just
exactly.
wipe it off?
Indeed, exactly. The situation is due to why we paint murals is also to deface graffiti. For some reason I've been painting murals for the past 10 years professionally. People have the respect to understand a little bit about what murals are about, specifically when community takes part in a project like this.
Well, I noticed that when you first started, down at the end, somebody had hit it.
Yes, indeed. It was very funny that they didn't touch the photographs, but they touched the end portion where there was just grass. But I think as anything else, they went around and, did do create some graffiti here and there, but they had the decency just to leave the photographs alone. But I think as anything else, it's just certain individuals who don't understand the process of what public art is about, basically. The whole idea is just to educate people a little bit about the history of the park, but also to show them that we need more public art to be presented, and also where committee takes part.
Now, this is part of the Parks, Marine, whatever the title is, their
Yes, it's
their mural program.
Exactly. This is from the Mural and Cultural Art Program, the City of Long Beach, Parks, Recreation, and Marine.
That's what I was trying to say. Now, how many murals do they have? Do you know around the city?
To be honest with you, I couldn't count them all, but there is an abundance of murals here in Long Beach, and they're mostly in different parks, also in schools. There's and different walls and businesses as well. But the projects where either an artist gets to work with the community, and the community decides on what elements the mural should be about.
Is this one of the most ambitious in the city?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure about that, but I think it's important for us to just show a different element from a different artist or different perspective to show what we do.
And well, what's your next project?
I'm actually heading out to Anchorage, Alaska, to talk about doing a project for the summer coming up, so 2006, and then from there I actually just have some in and out jobs that I'll be working here for specific businesses. But then from there I'll just be either trying to see if I can either look into a project either maybe with the city or just privately to see what we can create, specifically when I can get projects where I can work with the community, because I think that's more important than anything else.
Well, this is most impressive, and I know it's going to add a lot to the park, and the city can be well proud of this and of you.
Oh, thank you.
And I thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
And that's our show for this time. Be sure and join us again next time as we uncover more Long Beach treasures. We always appreciate your interest in Long Beach treasures, and if you have any suggestions or shows that you would like to see, why, just let me know. You can email me at longbeachtreasures@aol.com, or you can always call Charter Communications. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your help.